Alrighty, so
okay, so bet. All right, let's go. I bet. No,
okay,
it's okay. So it don't even matter if niggas try to fucking like tamper with the recordings. Over. I already saved it.
Yo, nigga, can you charge your phone, bro?
I got you. I gotta use the bathroom, so.
Shit is at 1%. I'm crying.
Like, bro, like, shit, the shop to go through. I did debate niggas when my phone's about to die, bro. Crazy.
This nigga's phone is actually 1%, bro. I just.
Let me hold on. By the way, remember what you agreed to.
Alrighty, man.
I wanna freak on you. I can get a shower. Come on. Start. So I got SCP-3812. Who do you have?
I'll just choose Superman.
That's fine.
Alright, okay, so what's gonna be the argumentation, like, or just rather the truth maker for your proposition?
SCP from the wiki, by the way, too. Just for extra clarity.
Oh yeah, that's fine. So like, what's your argumentation for your character? Like, just winning.
What's your position?
My position should already just be conceived via the knowledge about crossfits, but sure, I'll just. I just think the proposition of my character is just like not be able to like really get killed or anything. So I don't think he.
Is that just like not losing?
Bro, okay, so when I say that, I just don't think he could be removed. He could be killed or just fairly any point. Like,
okay, I'm just confused. How does that like fulfill anything in a crossfit to be? Are you saying he doesn't lose via that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like they are conjunctive.
Okay, my position is that SCP wins. It's more plausible he wins. I sent my argument in chat.
Yeah,
so, if SCP-3812 transcends any narrative that transcends himself, then proceeds to gain control over the lesser narrative realities, then it's reasonable or plausible to say he'd win via the same arsenal. P is true, therefore Q is plausibly true. And then the motivation for P2 is the scans I sent chat.
Alrighty.
You got your mic, bro. I gotta turn you up.
Yeah, bro.
Turn on like noise suppression or something. I don't know. Your mic ass.
Yeah, I know my mic is ass. A lot of people say that.
How could somebody be like, isn't Apollo older than this nigga's like in his 20s, he doesn't have this shit. Nigga is in his 20s and can't show a dime. I don't see how can niggas live like this? No money, no hoes. Like literally live in a fucking prison cell. Like niggas a loser, bro. Like how can niggas live like that?
Okay, so you're like just to retrack a bit real quick. So you said your argumentation in itself was like that your character can transcend his current ontological value and gain control of the narrative which we propose that the cross-verse match happens in.
No, wait. What do you mean by ontological? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I, like when I say that, I just think his current like form or just like positive ontological status goes above that in terms of ontological value. He just
okay. I don't think he's I don't think he's going beyond himself. That's a contradiction. I don't think he's doing that.
Yeah, you said though that your character like went above himself. So like when you say
I say he transcends narratives. Not that he goes beyond.
So the said narratives also contain him.
Okay, listen. Okay, so okay, I can attack that argument. Can you fix your mic, bro? But additionally, to further clarify or add upon that argument, they mention similar topics as to what they're talking about. They say that the mistake I made the mistake I made was when I didn't realize that by making him supersede everything that supersedes himself, he's also superseding himself.
Hold on, Swampy. When he's giving his points, can you mute up? Because like you gotta have
you gotta mute your mic. I want to clarify, like he's not okay. So it doesn't seem like it's contradictory. He's not literally transcending himself. I think he's transcending, like imagine this. Imagine I make the interpretation of Careless and I'll put that on a piece of paper. Let's assume that an intrinsic property of the fictional version of Careless is that it goes beyond it transcends everything that transcends himself. So let's assume there exists an actual Careless. He would just transcend that Careless. So I see your argument, but I don't think he's like transcending.
Okay, hold on. I got it. So
yeah,
what you're basically saying,
himself.
what you're saying is like, in terms of actual positive ontological status, it's not actually him, but rather it's like an avatar state.
No, okay. It can be an avatar
like a platonic
state,
form. Like a platonic form.
I wouldn't even call it that, but it's not really like that. It's really just like him going beyond his initial limits. I think that's a better way to explain.
Okay, then, but if he's going above the said narrative, like she exists in, that would just wouldn't entail like a ground.
No, it's not a contradiction. Okay,
yeah, hold on. I'm not saying it's a contradiction. I'm trying to explain my point. Like,
okay, it's not a literal. It's
not
like he's transcending the book, bro. He's not transcending the book that contains it.
Okay,
it's called metafictional transcendence.
Metaphysical transcendence.
No, not metaphysical, bro. You gotta mute your mic, bro. Please. It's called metafictional transcendence. Metafictional transcendence is the idea that it's basically like fourth wall breaking, but imagine fourth wall breaking if it was power scaling. That's basically what's going on here.
Okay, so then you define like fourth wall breaking is within this context. Like when you use the word power scaling, you're obviously conveying something with that.
Okay, so let's imagine let's imagine we have infinite dimensions in Universe 1, but I break the fourth wall, and the fourth wall is obviously what contains the narrative that holds the infinite dimensions. So the fourth wall would transcend everything inclusive to, like, let's say, for example, narrative setting 1. And let's assume narrative setting 2 supersedes narrative setting 1. Narratives are just like distinct from the setting that includes like the regular like interpretation of reality. Like, for example, a narrative space-time. A narrative space-time would encompass in any amounts of space-times, any concepts included within narrative 1. So hypothetically, there can be like a higher narrative, and that would just transcend what we consider narrative 1 to have or contain.
Okay, so then that would just still be like transcendence and what I said earlier, because you said that wasn't transcendence earlier. You said that was rather just him placing on like a different figure, right? And then he goes above this. Okay, hold on. Hear me out. Right? So what you basically said, hold on, let me just sit down somewhere so like this fucking background noise goes away.
You gotta fix that, bro.
No.
Everybody been tracking the argument so far?
Yes, I have been tracking.
I had to mute this nigga King. He's fucking annoying. Okay, so earlier you said that he wasn't like translating. He was basically just going on the initial limits placed within the narrative, right? But you also said that would be a distinct formation of what he is. He's placing down a distinct version of himself within a narrative, but he's going beyond that initial limits. If he's going beyond the initial limits that is separate from that wouldn't entail the same limits placed upon him. That'd just be like where he's a distinct entity but holds like nearly the same properties. So like what I'm saying is
it's not distinct. Okay, I don't know what you're getting distinct from. SCP-3812 is still identical to SCP-3812. It's just the idea that when they say he's superseding himself, they're not saying he's transcending his own identity. They're saying that, like, okay, if he's in the fourth dimension, him going up into a higher dimension, okay, possibly there exists a higher interpretation of 3812. That's possibly true. I think that's what they're saying in the universe or within the SCP verse. They're just saying that the character transcends all possible versions that could exist up to 3812. That's why it's everything that sees himself.
Yeah, so in itself, I don't think I was trying to aim for him, like, you know, being above his identity. So, like, if you're going to go ahead and affirm that interpretation, I'll just I'm
not even saying you're arguing for a contradiction. I'm just clarifying that.
Yeah, I know. But, like, since, like, if you were to affirm that interpretation, that would just be a straw man. I know you're trying to clarify that. So, what I'm basically saying is that if he's transcending all those other versions of himself, you realize that this is just basically defined as a modal rigid designator.
What does that mean? Well, okay, even if I accept it, how does that harm the argument? Let's just get to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over that. So a modal rigid designator within modal logic, or just what's explained as what exists through all frameworks, would just be X. Like, just say X like is within the eternally like affirmed state of affairs, right? The state of affairs holds X, and X is still the same across all possible worlds. If that is the case, that, like, you know, X is like distinct because like, you can just say that X is like also like contingent upon the framework because the framework itself just depends upon conceivability if it's like logical possibility, right? But I'm not done yet. Hold on. What I'm saying is that basically, if he were to exist,
why are you making logical possibility?
Yeah, hold on. I'm defining what a modal rigid destinator is. That's basically what exists in all possible worlds. So I'm going over a modal.
Okay. I'm not saying it exists in all possible worlds. What are you talking about?
Okay, so hold on. You're talking about all possible frameworks in which he exists. This is that certain set
hold on. You're strawmanning the argument.
That's not strawman the argumentation. What are you talking about? Okay, hold on. That's not what you directly said, but that's also what you're just implying based upon what you're saying.
No, I'm not. How do you know what I'm implying in the argument?
Yeah, I'm trying to justify that. Hold on, let me speak.
You're attacking something I never said.
Yes, you did say.
Okay, one, I never said that he exists in every possible world. Additionally,
okay, then bro, okay, hold on. You're not tracking the argumentation. You're not. Okay, careless. You're not tracking. I'm saying, okay, careless. Let me speak, and maybe we can get on the right track instead of fucking move on to another point and dialectical the current point. What I'm saying is that defined through the set of applicable worlds. So this would just be basically referring to a certain set of worlds where this character existed, right? He's basically above the limits of these specific modal designators. It does not mean he exactly lives within all possible worlds. I'm saying that this defined as a modal rigid designator when it's applied to these specific worlds, not necessarily.
Okay, what worlds are you indexed to in the argument? Oh my god.
Okay, when I say all worlds, that's just applicable to all the narratives, the frameworks which exist.
Oh my god. Okay. The narratives. Okay, if that's the argument. That's fine. Okay, narratives in the verse can trivially exist. The argument. The whole point is that the character has the ability to access higher narrative reality. So it would be an intrinsic property of the character to hold to his existence, but it's not a necessity that narratives have to exist in the verse. So all they're saying in the verse is that character X has this property. This property is the ability to transcend everything that transcends itself. And what they mean by that is specifically indexed to narratives or narratives. They first started by saying that entities or beings with access to higher metaphysical dimensions will perceive reality as if they were in a comic book. I guess I understand too.
Okay, so all you're doing is there's an infinite hierarchy of narratives. So that's about
it. The hierarchy is irrelevant, bro.
Okay, no, that's relevant to what you said. Hold on. So you're going over this initial character which exists within this set of worlds which exist, right? That is basically what is being designated as the modal operator. That is completely relevant. Then hold on.
Okay, what do you mean by modal operator? I'm just so confused. How is that relevant?
That's relevant because that's the states of affairs your character exists in.
Okay, bro. Okay, listen. Okay, to clarify, anything that metaphysically can possibly exist beyond the character, at least if it's specifically indexed to fiction, the character's beyond. Just for extra clarity. So what I mean by that is that I'm saying due to the nature of the character itself, what they're saying that the property that's intrinsic to SCP-3812 is the fact that any narrative reality he transcends. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying it's true in every possible world that SCP transcends literally every. I'm not.
Okay, I don't know where you got where transcends every possible. Okay, hold on. You're not tracking your imitation of what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a set of specific applicable worlds where your character exists.
Are you saying it has a limit?
No, I'm not saying it has a limit. I'm saying it's set of applicable worlds where the modal operator is. Okay? So
the modal operator is linked to fiction, bro. I don't know what else to tell you, bro.
Yeah, it's linked to fiction, but you're not getting what I'm saying. I'm trying to clarify what I said before. You said, above every other possible world, before that. Well, I'm clarifying that it's within this specific set of worlds, not necessarily all frameworks which I'm referring to, because that would be distinct. That's a metaphysical necessity. Also, yeah, sure, but you just move on to my point about my character.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we can just go to your conclusions about that. So, God.
Okay, bro. Are we done? Or are we done with the point? Are we concluding off everything we said?
Yeah, sure, man. Sure.
Okay. Has anyone been listening so far?
I have.
You're not judging.
Skibbityism, get the fuck out. Skibbityism, get the fuck out.
Mute Skibbityism. He's not judging. No one, literally,
Oh
no
my
one.
god, he's funny as shit.
Alright, so
I was
we
part
get a
of the
verdict
VC,
from
you're
Wendy,
appealing to the
Darn,
VC.
Jet.
I'll make a poll. I'll make a poll. Everybody vote on polls.
No.
Yeah, that's simple.
Wait.
No,
Y'all
bro,
agree?
can I talk? Because people from the VC, okay, the prophecy dude isn't judging, for clarity.
And also Skibbity.
What? You literally you agreed on what's it called? Like people in
No,
VC,
I said
bro.
everybody. It's everybody in the VC at the specific time. I said
Yeah,
everybody.
I was there at that time. I was in that.
Yeah, so
screenshot.
everybody at that time can vote. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I was in that screenshot, sir. So excuse I for Diddy.
Bro, you just call yourself Diddy.
Diddy?
Okay, bro.
Alright, bro.
Shut up.
Man, I'm out of fun.
Yeah, obviously I'm voting for
He's
myself
voting for
because
himself.
Yeah, no, I'm voting for Swampy. He did better.
Skibby, yo, kick Skibby. He's not judging. I don't know why.
Yeah. The fuck do you mean?
He's not judging.
Oh my god, this shit is so funny.
Side bow.
Kick Skibbyism. He's tampering the poll.
No,
Okay, consensus
not.
is saying I won.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Are you retarded?
Well, you voted for yourself.
Oh my god. He did the same, you stupid bitch.
No, he didn't.
Are you retarded?
Are you?
Right.
And also, you shouldn't say that word. That kind of hurts my feelings, man.
I don't care, bitch.
Hey, be nice or be quiet.
I won polls.
No, you didn't. Can you prove this?
No, it's 3.
It's this guy retarded.
It's 3-1. So
it doesn't matter, bro. I don't care what consensus.
You agree to consensus, by the way. So
Yeah, sure, man. Like,
so I won the point.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Skip it easy. Shut the fuck up, man. Hold on. No, I said, like, I don't mind about the polls, honestly. It's like, I don't care about what the polls say, man. That doesn't, like, determine a verdict. But, like,
you
wait, hold on. You agree to
okay, hold on. You're not letting me finish. I'm saying in terms of, like, the proposition-wise, I don't believe, like, but what I agree to, then that definitely, like, proves the...
No, you agree that...
Yeah, okay, hold on. I just agreed that, like, you know, goes... about what I agree to. I'm just saying proposition-wise doesn't necessarily make a truth maker. That's what I could just clarify.
Well,
hey, that doesn't matter.
I don't even know what you mean by that, but again,
we can just save the recording. I'll just send it to like one of my judges or something like that. I guess I don't mind. But